Hello out there in internet land. Welcome to P&J's Formula One podcast chat, episode number 2.
They let us run for 2 shows.
I don't think they've got much of a choice.
Good.
Hopefully more people will watch it more than 6.6 minutes and 41 seconds. It won't go for 2.5 hours, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, no, not this one.
So I am your host, Phil Lamington. And I sound like a heavy neck breather on some sort of sex phone line. And I'm accompanied by my co-host, JB. JB, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. And I just sound like a cement mixer. All the time.
Yes, you do. All right, so we've just had the Bahrain F1, the first race of the 2021 season.
Certainly have.
It was a really good race. Like, it was competitive from top to bottom.
Yeah, and it was tight at the end for the first time in a long time.
Yes. Even though Sky Sports kept saying that Hamilton hasn't had a challenge like this the entire hybrid turbo era, They seem to forget 2016 and 2018 when the Ferraris were a threat.
Seem to forget his teammate Rosberg as well, but, you know.
That's true.
Ironic seeing as he works for Sky Sports. Just don't mention him.
Very much. So we had Lewis Hamilton won the race from Max Verstappen. Valtteri Bottas came third and got the fastest lap.
Yes, he did.
Then Lando Norris in the McLaren came fourth. Sergio Perez. What a drive from Sergio Perez.
It's like one of the few times I actually agree with driver of the day.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, usually they're fairly spot on. Usually it just goes to Hamilton because they're bored. But that was a hell of a drive from the pit lane to P5.
Yeah, particularly seeing the car conked out on the formation lap.
Yes, the electronics died on the steering wheel.
And you could tell he was sitting there going, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Did you see when the marshals went to push him, he actually held his foot on the brake? So it wouldn't be, I don't know if there's a rule against it, like a jump start or a push start or something.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he actually held his foot on the brake and told the marshals to, like, not push the car. I don't know if it means if the marshals touch the car, what are you out? Or I don't know what the ruling is.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure
He
on
was
that.
very strict in telling the marshals to not touch the car.
That's fair. That's fair. But he had a really awesome drive from, way back when to fifth on the final standings. Then you've got Charles Leclerc at sixth in the Ferrari. Daniel Ricciardo seventh in the McLaren, doing Australia proud. Carlos Sainz in the other Ferrari in eighth. Yuki Tsunoda on debut for AlphaTauri in ninth. Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin. So, how do you think Team Haas went?
After the first lap? Or the second lap, when both their cars had spun?
Yeah, but Schumacher finished the race.
Schumacher did finish the race. Nikita Mazepin's Grand Prix career so far has lasted 3 corners. They had the same.
And he decided to hit the opposite wall to Grosjean.
Yeah, he didn't want to explode into a fireball, so he just figured he'd send it to the other side of the track.
Get in there, Mazepin.
Get in there, Mazepin. I don't know. A very not great looking car and very, I don't know, they suffered the same fate. Essentially, they both lit it up under power and spun the wheels. I don't know if it was rookie errors or the car's very unstable.
I think the car is very unstable, particularly in the back end. Don't forget, though, this is effectively still last year's Haas, and Grosjean and Magnussen both complained that the rear end on that thing wasn't worth shit. So handing it to 2 rookies that's a gamble. I think that's a gamble they shouldn't have taken. They should have used those development tokens and tried to improve the back end.
I think they're not going to have a choice but to use the development tokens and improve the back end, because now it's just, not only is it slow and cumbersome, it's just outright dangerous.
Yeah, particularly with Mazepin, like he really didn't show what talent he has by lighting it up. And he claims he was avoiding Schumacher, but Schumacher was a whole car length in front of him when he performed the what Super GT calls the bottle job.
Mazepin had his foot planted and he took too much curb on the inside of turn 2 and just looped it, but he can say what he wants. He wasn't avoiding anything.
No.
He had his foot planted.
But other than that, we really didn't actually see much of Schumacher, which I don't know if that was a blessing or a blessing or a curse. I mean, I would have liked to have seen him in action, but the only thing they showed was him spinning, and then he just sort of reminded me of the Williams from 2019, where it's just a coast mobile.
He did only finish one lap down, which I guess is an improvement on the Williams, which usually finishes 2 or 3 laps down. But yeah, no, I mean he recovered from his spin on lap 2 to finish the race, so that's something.
Yeah,
something more than what his teammate achieved.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Then we get to the Williams. So George Russell, like that Williams is a better car than what it's been for the last couple of years.
It's a better car this year, yeah, you can see that. It's still not great,
yeah,
but it's better.
It's racy, but
it's racy against those that it's going to be racy against. It's not a top. It's not going to be racing. It's not going to be racing the AlphaTauris or the McLarens or the Red Bulls, but it will be racy against, the Haas's and the Alfa Romeos.
Well, I'll come back to that point in a second. Mm-hmm. But I think George Russell is outdriving the car.
He did that last year too.
Now, Nicholas Latifi, he was actually doing okay. Like, he wasn't doing much better than Russell. But he retired 5 laps to go.
Yeah.
Because there was
because it's a Williams.
No, there was an issue with it.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was. I should have done some more research on that, but
we should probably. It's all good.
Yeah,
we're here now.
Look, there's other internet channels that will explain what happened to his car. So
if you want a professional F1 chat, go find something else.
But yeah, I look, the Williams is going to be better than the Haas this year, but
yeah, I think by virtue they will be. Yes, and I think they'll be even keel with the Alfa Romeos, and depending on how bad the Aston Martin actually is, it could be a juicy little scrap down the bottom.
Well, the thing was, I think the Alfa Romeo is a far more competitive car than what it was last year. I think that new Ferrari power plant is really helping them. I mean, they're not getting back to where they were, say, 2018, 2019, where they were rather competitive. Like, Kimi was getting into Q3 a lot.
Yes, they've slowly whittled themselves backwards over the last couple of seasons, especially with the rise of the AlphaTauri, especially. But
yeah.
And their competitors, the Alpine, who used to be the Renault. But yeah, no, it's competitive. Kimi's finished on the lead lap at least, and Giovinazzi was just behind him.
Yeah, for some reason though, I keep thinking Giovinazzi's days are numbered in F1. Like he's good but not great.
Yeah, he was being touted as a Ferrari prospect a few years ago, but he's really not shown a whole lot to be completely honest. And getting outdriven by the oldest man on the grid. I mean, for all the experience Kimi has, you'd think he'd follow his lead in some aspect and try and learn something off him and try and improve some positions, but he's in the same car, on the same track, on the same day. He just doesn't have it.
And I was just thinking then, like, the point I brought up in our last chat, which was, why didn't someone pull the strings and put Schumacher in in the Alfa Romeo and move Giovinazzi to the Haas? But then I watched season 3 of Drive to Survive, and Schumacher and Mazepin are in the Haas because they needed sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
They needed money. So, and Fred Vasseur wanted to stick with the driver lineup that he had.
Which is fair enough. I mean, it's the never-ending cycle of money and Formula One, isn't it?
Pretty much. So then we get to the team that really disappointed me. Aston Martin.
Yeah, what is up with that thing?
I think they might have slowly figured out that they are in fact driving a car that is 2 years old. While everyone else is driving a 2020 car, they're still driving a 2019 car.
Because they can't be the green Mercedes.
Yeah.
As they were the pink Mercedes last year.
And specifically, what the hell is the go with Vettel? He's gotten worse than when he was in Ferrari last year. But last year he was pissed off because he was getting the boot from Ferrari. What's his excuse this year for driving like crap?
He's driving a 2-year-old car. Or maybe he just finally realised he hasn't got it anymore. Maybe Father Time's caught up with him at last.
I mean, he got a 10-second penalty at the end of the race.
For colliding with Ocon, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ploughing big, and then he's sitting there whinging about, Ocon changed lines. No, he didn't. You were the one changing lines, Vettel. You were the one who pulled to the side. He was on the racing line. He went through, and then you went behind, changed back to being behind him.
Yeah.
And braked way too late and just ploughed up his ass.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a desperation move for someone that's keen to impress with his new team, and it backfired on him very much so.
Vettel reminds me of poker players who lose a really big hand, and it's a poker term where they sit there and say they're playing on tilt, where they've lost a really big hand, so they play really aggressively the next hand to make themselves to try and win back the hand and win back control of the game and that. And that's what Vettel is striking me as now. He is a player on tilt. He's trying too hard and too aggressive when he doesn't need to be. But his whole weekend was rubbish. Like, he qualified like 18th.
Yeah.
And then got a penalty because he didn't lift off under a yellow flag.
And started last.
Until...
Started second last when Perez clunked it out. But
yeah. I think this will be Vettel's last contract in F1.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to... I mean, you could maybe use the excuse he's trying to get used to the car. But... I don't know, man. It's not a bright start. I mean, Lance Stroll at least got a championship point.
Yeah, but that was only by a miracle as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he spent most of the race. Like, Vettel spent most of the race competing with Alonso and Raikkonen and Sainz. Yeah, and Sainz finished 8th. And we'll get to Alonso in a sec.
Yeah,
but,
we'll get to Alonso in a sec.
You know, and Stroll... Like, Stroll didn't... Sure, he got a point. And that's more than Kimi and Gio and Vettel and Mick and... Ocon and all of them. But that car, there is nothing impressive about that car.
Yeah, there really is nothing impressive about that car. Their testing pace carried over into race pace.
Well, their testing pace wasn't too bad.
Yeah, but I mean, other teams took a step forward after testing. They haven't.
Yeah, they just planted their feet and went, "Oh yeah, we're great."
This is as fast as we are. We were trying to break lap records and we couldn't because we can't. Everyone else seemed to have taken a step forward in the 2-week break since testing, but Aston and Haas has gotten
when Lawrence Stroll when Lawrence Stroll bought the team, turned into Racing Point, they were an upward trajectory.
Yeah.
They finished last year 4th in the constructors.
Yeah. Well, yes, technically. No, they did, yes.
Yeah.
Could have finished 3rd, but they're cheating bastards.
Yeah. They're the Melbourne Storm, really. But,
let's not go that far.
Okay. All right.
This is a one-off. This isn't a decade of being cheating bastards.
That's true. But now they seem to have gone back to their Force India days of just churning out a half-assed mobile with a Mercedes engine and expecting the Mercedes engine to propel half-assed aerodynamics all the way to the tippy top while they sit there and copy and paste from someone else's better aerodynamic package.
Hey, that's what Williams based their car off. Look how well it's working out for them.
I honestly think that the Williams might somewhat be a better car than the Aston Martin. I know the results don't show it, but I don't know, just gut feeling tells me there's something about that Williams that's a little bit better than the Aston Martin. It's just not showing on there. But
it's a long season. We'll see. I mean,
oh yeah. I mean, it's too early to judge too much.
It's definitely not the Racing Point of 2020.
Definitely not.
Not even in the same ballpark.
Well, that comes to a really good question. Did the talent of the team get booted and go to Red Bull?
I've always had a very good affinity with Sergio Perez. He's a good driver. He's a great driver. Maybe.
Okay. Now, we get to the other team that I thought had a lot of great hope. And it fizzled like a fart in a balloon.
Mm-hmm.
Alpine.
Renault.
Or specifically, the two overrated, talentless hacks behind the wheel. You've got Ocon, who is meh at best. And, even as a person, he seems like a charisma vacuum. And then you've got, and I'll love to say this to all you Alonso fans out there, what happened to your second coming of Jesus? He didn't finish the race.
He did not. Why didn't he finish the race?
He was having brake issues, and it turned out a piece of plastic or something had gone into the brake ducts.
That's nice and dangerous.
But he was nowhere in the race anyway.
Yeah.
When he was in there, him and Ocon were nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Where were they? Nowhere. Where were they going? Fucking nowhere.
Yeah, it's taken a step backwards, the old newly rebadged Renault, hasn't it?
Well, it's another question then, just like what I asked about Aston Martin.
Did the talent get traded to McLaren?
Yes. Yes, it did.
Yeah, it maybe did.
They would have been better, and it probably would have been a lot cheaper if instead of getting Alonso, if they brought Hulkenberg back.
Yeah. Or, yeah, he actually would have been a reasonable option.
Because Alonso, I'm surprised he wasn't bitching on the radio every 2 minutes.
He probably was, but Sky Sports didn't want
to broadcast it. I mean, that Alpine was just nowhere the entire race.
Yeah, they definitely had their struggles.
And
although Ocon did get hit by Vettel, I don't know if that contributed to his overall finishing position.
The Alpine, in terms of race pace, was as competitive as the Aston Martin.
Yep.
Which it wasn't. It wasn't competitive.
I
Neither
mean, no,
of
it's
them were
not,
competitive.
it's not a competitive pace. No.
You know, just yeah. I'm speechless about it. Like that car in testing looked like it had something.
It looked like it still had an ace up its sleeve in the way the Renault performed late last year,
Yeah.
but it didn't translate today.
So then we get to AlphaTauri.
I don't
Now,
know.
Gasly clipped Ricciardo's rear wheel, which broke his front wing.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, Gasly and Tsunoda, they were looking racy. And Tsunoda looked racy all the way. I mean, he's not gonna challenge the Red Bulls and the Mercedes,
Yet.
you know. But it put up a hell of a fight with the McLarens, with the Ferraris. You know, AlphaTauri certainly is in the top 3 of the mid pack.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that was a outstanding drive by Yuki Tsunoda
On debut.
on debut. Did you hear the team radio after the race?
No.
He was apologising to the team.
For.
He said the first lap wasn't good enough and he let the team down. And he was really sorry. And his team was like, no, mate, you've did it right. And he's gone, no, it wasn't good enough.
Well, that's someone with a lot of good expectation on his shoulders then.
That, to me, that's a driver who's going to be, much like Charles Leclerc,
Yeah.
he's put a lot of pressure on himself.
Borderline perfectionist. Yeah.
But he seems like he's a driver who's got a bit of integrity to him. Like Charles Leclerc.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to know when he's had a bad day, and he's going to put his hand up.
Yeah.
He didn't have a bad day today.
You know, unlike, I don't know, Vettel,
Yes.
unlike Ocon, unlike Alonso. Yeah, and Gasly just had bad luck having a broken front wing, and that would have just thrown off the entire team strategy.
Yeah.
You know, so
I think they will bounce back pretty well at Imola.
yeah,
We'll see pretty good pace from them still.
particularly at Imola, the next race at
I
Imola.
think if Gasly doesn't break his front wing, Stroll doesn't finish in the top 10.
Oh, absolutely.
I think he probably finishes ahead of Tsunoda.
I think Tsunoda would have had him,
Yeah, maybe.
but Stroll
Yeah,
certainly would not have been in the top 10.
Yeah. Which is a pretty stark reminder for Aston Martin, but...
Yeah, well. So then we get to... Well, we'll go to McLaren. McLaren had a really good day at the office.
Norris had a really good day at the office.
I think, was it Norris and Leclerc had a bit of a...
Norris and Leclerc, yeah, they were at each other for the first few laps.
And I think Leclerc got Norris at one point and pushed him off the track. And Norris was on the blower saying, he pushed me off the
He
track.
didn't push him off the track. Norris was on the outside of turn 4
Turn
trying
4.
to overtake him, and Leclerc held the racing line, so there was nothing in that.
And after the race, like, Norris did actually say, yeah, he didn't push me off. Exactly what you said. Like, he had the racing line.
Yeah, he was on the outside of turn 4.
He said he was just a little bit miffed at the time, but, you know, it wasn't as bad as what he made it out at the time.
No, Leclerc just held his line. He just did what any racing driver would do.
But Norris put in an absolutely solid drive to get 4th place.
He was pressuring the front runners from the start. He was up on Bottas. He had a good scrap with Leclerc. Danny Ricciardo didn't quite have the same pace. But I think he's still coming to grips with that car, to be honest.
Yeah, but also I think Ricciardo said something about how the team strategy wasn't terribly aggressive. Something like that.
Yeah, McLaren are never really known for their aggressive strategy calls, to be honest. But, 7th isn't a bad finish. It's still points.
Yeah, that's right. And 7th in your first race in a new team, getting used to the car still. He did really well, and I'm very happy to see McLaren back up the front.
Yeah, I think with a different strategy, with a more aggressive strategy, I think the car, with Ricciardo getting some more miles in it and getting more comfortable in it. If this is their early season pace, I'm pretty chuffed to see what they can do.
And I was also pretty chuffed about Ferrari.
Yes.
I don't think the aero is quite there. Maybe, the engine is not. It is the third fastest out of the four, but it is far better than what it was last year. And you can tell Charles Leclerc is a lot happier now.
He's enjoying driving it, yes. You can tell he seems a lot happier on the radio. A lot happier around the paddock.
And, he was up to, what, third? Third by the time the safety car came out.
Yeah, he was up the front the whole race. I think he faded back. I think Norris and Perez got him, but late in the race. Like, he was very much up there. Carlos Sainz, he got a bad start. I think he fell to about 10th. But he worked his way back up. So the Ferrari got pace again, finally.
Yeah. And, again, like the McLaren, they can only get better. And they've got two really good driver lineups.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, even if they're just fighting for third place, this is going to be an amazing battle.
It's going to be the McLaren versus Ferrari battles of the world.
Yeah.
It won't be for championships.
Hunting louder.
It'll be for podiums. It'll be Hakkinen and Schumacher, but for third place, not first and second. But it's a step forward.
That's right.
It's a step to closing the gap to the Germans.
And it's nice seeing the old guard being competitive again. If only we could just get Williams up the front. Then
yeah, they've got some work to do, and they're cash strapped.
Very true. But, I was really impressed by the Ferrari. It looks like it's on a better trajectory.
It's on the trajectory that it was on. It's not 2018, 2019 quick, but it's getting back to it.
It's 2016.
Yeah, they were where they wanted to be. Something happened illegally, and now they're getting back towards where they were.
Yeah.
They were knocked down a few pegs, and now they're starting to climb back up the mountain again.
So, my next comment's going to be slightly controversial. I think Hamilton fluked that win.
You think Hamilton fluked the win?
Yeah. I think that the Red Bull was a much faster car.
Yeah, it was.
And
undoubtedly.
I mean, look at what Perez did. Like, he started in the pit lane and finished 5th.
Yeah, drove the wheels off it.
Oh, he
drove the wheels off it. This is everything. I said it in our testing preview. This is everything Albon couldn't do. This is what they signed him up for.
Yeah.
This is what they signed him up for, to drive like this.
He's doing what Kvyat, Gasly, and Albon could not do.
That is
which is being a teammate, a support.
Proper tail gunner when it counts.
Yep.
And he's got pace and he's fast. Like, he made up, 15 spots? He made up 15 spots in the race.
Yeah.
Like, just driving it. And, Verstappen was only less than a second behind Lewis at the end.
Yeah, well, Max
actually took the lead, 3 laps to go?
Yeah, but then he had to hand it back because he went on the outside of turn 4. He completed the maneuver off the track.
Yes, right.
But Verstappen drove inside the track limit until he was told by, I don't know who the engineer at Red Bull was, but they told him, go outside on turn 4, and he was just like, but that's going outside the track limits. And they said, yeah, but Lewis has been doing it all day.
Apparently Max had a tyre on the ripple strip when he completed the manoeuvre, which counted as track limits, which counted as inside track limits.
Yeah.
But he was told to cede the place because Lando had done the same thing earlier in the race.
No, Michael Massey got straight onto the team and said he's got to hand it back over. It was completed off the track. Michael Massey's the race steward.
To Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as the overtake was completed, he was straight on the blower to Christian Horner and said he's got to hand the position back.
But Lewis was hanging around out there all day.
Yes. Which is why I think Hamilton does not deserve the win. Now, I think I'll finish this team review thing, and then I'll get to this point. So, I think the Red Bull, that was the car of the day. The Red Bull was the car.
It was faster than everyone else, including the Mercedes.
It was kind of like when we do the F1 races and Barry has had something go wrong and he is catching you at 2 seconds a lap towards the end.
That's a fun feeling.
Yeah, that's what Verstappen was doing. And a big shout-out wave to our mate Barry Enchilada.
Good old Barry Enchilada. We'll get him on the show.
Yeah, we'll get him on the show at some point. He's probably going to listen to this and go, get better.
Get better.
But
no, we're not getting better. Screw you.
Yeah. F you, I won't do what you tell me. But yeah, the Red Bull was the better car. It was faster by a country mile.
Imagine if Perez didn't have to start from the pit lane, where he would have finished
third. He would have gotten third.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been Mercedes, Red Bull. Like, it's clearly the faster car of the day. Absolutely.
Or it might have even changed things more. He might have actually gotten past Hamilton. It might have been Red Bull, Hamo.
Time will tell.
Okay. But Bottas, he was complaining about the car all weekend. He said it was undrivable at one point.
He did.
And then he also said the team wasn't aggressive with his strategy. But
that was a recurring theme over the weekend.
But if I was Bottas, I'd be pissed because the pit crew stuffed up his final pit stop. No, it wasn't his final. It was his second last pit stop.
Yeah, they were slow on one of the wheels going on.
Yeah, and they dropped the jack prematurely and then had to pump it back up to get the tyre on. It always seems to happen to Bottas.
Never to Lewis. Yeah, when's the last time they properly stuffed up a Lewis pit stop?
I
can't
not
remember.
off the top of my head.
I can't remember. I remember them stuffing up George Russell's pit stop.
And Bottas's stop. That was at Sakia.
Yep. But never Lewis's.
It's madness. And Lewis, look, he drove well, but he was not in the faster car. And then we get to the thing I was going to talk about before. They didn't say anything to Lewis about him driving outside the track limits until lap 38. Lap 38. He did it. Pardon me. He did it more than 10 times where he drove outside the track limit on turn 4. And Michael Massey did nothing. And it wasn't until after Max was told to drive outside the track limit where he finally went, oh gosh darn, I should say something to them. And so on lap 38, Bono gets on the radio to Lewis and says, Lewis, on turn 4, we need you to stop driving outside the track limits. The stewards have said, you're driving outside the track limits, and if you don't stop doing it, you're going to get a black and white and a 5-second penalty. And Lewis went, but why? I've been driving like this the whole race. Which then brings me to my question. Why were the track limits not enforced the entire damn race?
They were enforced during qualifying.
Yeah,
they were in practice. They were deleting lap times because of it.
But Michael Massey said that they would be monitored during the race and lap times would be omitted going for the fastest lap if they did it. but they weren't going to penalise him. But it's a bloody track limit. It's like turn 1 at Austria.
Yeah, you can't just cut it.
No. Like they take turn 1 and then they end up on the sausage curb, which is past the main curb.
Mm.
That shouldn't be right. It should be you keep tyres either on the curb or on the track. If it crosses over the white line into the curb, you've exceeded the track limits. So why is it the entire race until lap 38, and I wrote it down in my notes, lap 38, nothing was done about it. And he had done it more than 10 times.
Did Max do it more than 10 times?
No.
Max was just driving normally?
Yes. Because when they said to Max, you can drive outside the track limit, he went, but that's driving outside the track limit.
Yeah.
And they said, yeah, but Lewis has been doing it all race. And he goes, yeah, I know Lewis has been doing it all race, but why isn't anything being said? And Max is right.
Yeah, no, he's right. It was good for one, it's good for all.
And I reckon if Hamilton had just driven round the corner like everyone else, he wouldn't have won the race. I think they even, I can't remember the source, but someone figured out that he was actually gaining a tenth a lap by driving outside the track limit on that corner.
He won the race by 7/10, so that's 7 laps.
Wait, no, sorry, it wasn't a tenth, it was 100th.
Right. So if he's done it 10 times, he's gained a tenth of a second. Yeah, I mean...
And he did it more than 10 times.
Ultimately, Max lost the race for that very corner, for that very move, for that very reason.
He lost it because the team strategy was too conservative. Even he admitted, like, the team strategy was a bit too conservative. But if Hamilton had... I'm going to call a spade here. If Hamilton had not cheated by driving outside the track limit over and over and over and over and over again, it would have been a very different situation.
It very much could have been. That, or if Red Bull had covered off the undercut on that first stop and not left Max out for like 3 laps later.
Yeah, I think that's what they mean by the
conservative.
The
yeah, but that's what everyone said over the weekend, just conservative strategies.
I think the conservative strategies was because being in the desert, you don't know if the wind direction's going to change and then blow all the shit all over the track.
Yeah, it's true, but they were running hard tyres on the end. I know it's a rear grip limited circuit, but you know, you got a set of medium tyres there.
Hamilton boxed about 8 laps before Max,
yeah.
And by the time Max caught up to him, his back tyres were stuffed.
Yeah,
which means that Mercedes, it's not good on tyres.
No, it hasn't been, and there's no dash to help them.
Yeah, that's right.
Warm the tyres or keep the tyres from not wearing either. So we will see it in its rawest form.
Well, this actually brings me to a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote this down in my notes. Did Mercedes win on car ability or a better strategy?
Better strategy. Better strategy. I think Red Bull were too conservative when Max loves an aggressive strategy and Max loves driving aggressively. He was put on the hard tyres at the end to try and cover off Lewis. I think they should have covered the undercut on their first round of pit stops.
Also, there was something I forgot to mention as well. Like Sergio Perez had his electronic issue that caused his engine to cut out or whatever it was. Max Verstappen's diff was manky the whole race.
Yeah, he was complaining about something on the accelerator. It felt weird. The accelerator felt weird.
Yeah, it was something to do with diff.
Yeah. So technically, Verstappen's car was compromised the whole race.
Yeah, and he still drove like a champion.
So how much more pace does that car have? Yeah, how much better is that car over the Mercedes?
But then you've got to wonder about, Sergio Perez having electronic woes with the diff. Is that Red Bull going to be reliable?
Is it a reliable car? Well, one race down, and they got them there.
Like before the actual race, between qualifying and the race, they changed out the battery storage on both Gasly and Perez's cars.
Mm-hmm.
So, and because it's not an engine or a power unit part, they could change it out and not get a penalty for it.
Yeah.
You kind of got to wonder about the reliability of the Red Bull. Specifically the Red Bull. I mean, yeah, the AlphaTauri as well, but for the sake of this, about the Red Bull. And whether or not reliability will hinder the Red Bull this year.
Yeah, well, look, hopefully it's just a case of getting over their gremlins early and knocking it on the head early enough in the season as to where it doesn't become a constant issue. Yeah, we'll see. They might have some electrical gremlins, but you'd rather catch them now than trying to fight for the championship at the end.
Now, here was something else that I noticed in the last 10 laps, which was Lewis having to tell Bono effectively to shut up.
Mm-hmm.
On lap 50, Max's engineer got on the radio and did the polar opposite. He said to Max, he's like, you know what to do, you know what you're doing, I'm going to shut up and leave you alone. I thought that was really good. The last thing he said was,
let me know if you need anything.
let me know if you need anything.
Yeah. That's professional.
That's
an engineer with trust in his driver. It's like, I'll just sit here and watch you, you know what to do.
That's an engineer who understands drivers.
Pressure situations and the need to focus.
Whereas Bono is just sitting there blabbering and blabbering and blabbering and blabbering, and eventually
Nah,
Lewis has
I
got to
think
say,
it's isn't it usually Lewis blabbering and blabbering about tyres? They're gone, Bono.
yeah, he was doing that.
Bono, my tyres are gone.
Yeah.
No, Lewis, they're still round. They're still there.
Safety car's not driving fast enough.
Yeah,
That's why it's called a fucking safety car.
it's for your safety, you dickhead.
It's for the safety of the people trying to clear Mazepin's shitbox off the track.
Still scraping Mazepin off the wall. Leave me alone.
Leave me alone, I know what I'm doing.
Oh boy, it's going to be a long season for those two.
But I think Max Verstappen should have won that race.
He very much had the potential to. He had
But-
the car too, he was a faster driver. But they've shown them, Mercedes have shown their hand now. Red Bull have shown their hand
It is
now.
what it is.
And there's a lot of excitement. Like, wait until, Gasly doesn't blow a front wing and that AlphaTauri's going to be up there. The Ferrari's up there, the Red Bull's up there, the McLaren's up there.
Yeah, it's certainly become a very interesting season.
It's going to be Red Bull versus Mercedes for the majority of these podiums. But outside of that, from 4th down to, 12th, it's going to be McLaren, AlphaTauri, and Ferrari. And maybe an Alpine every now and then if they can get their shit together.
I'm waiting for Hamilton and Verstappen to crash into each other. And you know it's going to happen.
I
It's
hope
inevitable.
I hope it happens, and I hope no quarter is given. And I hope
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I really... If my Ferraris aren't going to be up there, if your McLarens aren't going to be up there, I really want Max to take the fight to Hamilton. I wouldn't mind if Max won the driver's title.
no one would mind if Max won the driver's title.
Yeah, as long as it's not Hamilton again, because it's become... Look, I'm a Schumacher fan. But Michael Schumacher, he was my driver. By 2004, even I was sitting there going, I'm sick and tired of him winning all the time.
Yeah.
It was becoming monotonous. And it's far surpassed that with Hamilton now.
Yeah, but Lewis isn't winning races by 30 seconds either. It's
sometimes
clear...
he was.
Yeah, but it's clear that he's not in the fastest car, at least at the start of the season.
No, well, this year he certainly has a fight going on with him.
At least with one person.
Yeah.
And Perez will be pressuring Bottas soon enough.
And the thing is, you've still got the McLarens and the Ferraris, and possibly even the AlphaTauris.
If they can find some more pace. I think they're still a step behind those other.
But they can still pick up a podium here or there.
Oh, they'll pick up the scraps if one of the top 4 boys carks it, crashes out, whatever. They'll pick up a podium. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, they're definitely like those two teams, McLaren and Ferrari, and AlphaTauri.
Yeah,
they are the top of the mid pack.
Yeah.
But and then it'll be a bottom 5 fight. It'll be the tail enders fighting, which will be Williams, Alpine, Aston.
All right. What's our team by team power rankings right now? You guys say Red Bull's number 1.
Yeah.
Red Bull's number 1, Mercedes number 2. Toss up between Ferrari and McLaren. We'll go McLaren just on finishing order.
Yeah, I was going to go McLaren, then Ferrari,
AlphaTauri. Alfa Romeo. Do you reckon it's better than the Aston Martin?
Yeah.
All right, we'll go Alfa Romeo, then we'll go Aston Martin,
then Alpine,
then Alpine, Williams, and Haas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean. So we got the big tier. We got Mercedes versus Red Bull.
Mm-hmm.
They're the champion. That's the championship tier. That's Drivers' Championship, Constructors' Championship. That's the championship tier.
Yeah.
And we got Ferrari, McLaren, and AlphaTauri top of the
mid pack.
The contender tier. Then we got Aston Martin, Alfa Romeo, and Alpine in the mid pack.
And then Williams
and Haas in the
cleaner division.
The shitbox division.
The janitor division.
What do they call it? The little soapbox rally, shitbox rally. That division, the ones that the participation trophy division.
IndyCar
division. Yeah, but all in all,
GP2.
The fight at the top between Red Bull and Mercedes is tense. The fight for the lower steps of the podium and the point scoring position between McLaren, Ferrari and AlphaTauri is going to be tense.
And Hamilton's not going to be able to just walk it in.
He's
got to fight for it this year.
I hope not, and I'm real interested when Imola comes to see Perez up there.
Well, Imola is next.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying it. I want to see what Perez has got in a straight fight where he's not starting from pit lane.
But yeah,
I want to see, because if Verstappen can take it to Hamilton, Perez can take it to Bottas, and maybe Perez can take it to Hamilton, and Verstappen can take it to Hamilton, and maybe the Mercedes organization as a whole won't be able to piss it in either.
That's what we don't want. We don't want them pissing it in.
Because if Verstappen runs into trouble, it can't be just Verstappen taking it to Mercedes. It's got to be Perez taking it to both Mercedes as well. Because if Verstappen has a bad race, Perez needs to be that guy.
Yeah. I think he is going to be that guy. It's whether the machinery of the team will give him the tools to do it. I don't mean like the car's not good enough. The car is certainly good enough. It's whether it's reliable enough.
Yeah, but you say that like Mercedes doesn't have its own gremlins. I mean, it's got a history of brake problems and heating problems, and it hates being stuck in traffic.
And it hates Mexico.
So, it hates the higher altitude, there's plenty of opportunities for Mercedes to run into their own gremlins.
Well, here's a good question for you. On out-and-out pace, like in a straight line, like it was a NASCAR race or whatever, do you think the Honda power unit is more powerful than the Mercedes power unit?
Yes.
Which means then tracks like Monza, Spa,
for now,
Austria.
Remember, they're going to develop these cars. Well, they're going to be limited, but they can still tweak cars.
Yeah.
During the season.
But
for now, I think the Honda power unit is the most gruntiest in the straight line. Yes.
Which means like those tracks I was just mentioning.
Yeah, Monza, Austria, Canada.
Canada, yeah.
Yeah.
Brazil.
Yeah, Brazil's a bit of a power
Yeah.
track.
Yeah. Those tracks. Even Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, not a fan of that. Not a fan of that layout.
No, it looks... I mean, I think it'll be more exciting than Azerbaijan or Monaco. Certainly going to be a lot more exciting than the Vietnam track.
Yeah, well, we don't have to worry about that anymore.
True. But those... Even, I think it'll be more exciting than Singapore, because Singapore really does not have a lot of overtaking opportunities.
Yeah, you've got like 2.
Um,
I don't know. That track's only got 1.
yeah, but it's got a lot of straights and a lot of hairpin
Yeah, but it's got
turn.
straights into straights. It's not straights into hairpins.
Yeah, it's got a couple of hairpins.
Yeah, but, oh man, it's so narrow. I don't know. Maybe they'll get there and it'll look different. It'll be a little wider than it looks on TV or on the
In the game.
on the simulation that we saw. But
That was from the game.
yeah,
That was from F1 2021,
I'm not sold on it.
being released by Codemasters, who just got bought out by EA.
Yes, this is the last one on Codemasters. Ooh, that means we get to drive Portimao as well this year.
And Imola.
And Imola, East, new tracks. Returning favourite and new tracks.
But getting back to F1, like real F1, not virtual F1.
It's all related. We went off topic, per se.
Oh, no. So, do you think Michael Massey needs a kick up the arse for not enforcing the rules?
No,
I think he does.
enforced the rules. It's just,
He was the one changing the rules over the weekend.
no. He enforced the rules. He did enforce the rules. It's just how they're enforced needs to be changed. MotoGP, on tracks like Austria and Mugello and fast tracks like that, determine their track limits. There's the ripple strip, there's a green strip of rubber, and then there's a red strip of rubber. And if your tyres are on the red strip of rubber, you're out of the track limits, and that's how they tell. So turn 4 at Bahrain needs a green strip of rubber and a red strip of rubber, or a fucking big badunkadunk sausage curb. They won't go out there. They're not going to put a Formula 1 car over a sausage curb.
You know what would make it even easier, though, to determine if someone is going past the track limits on turn 4 at Bahrain?
Put a big fuck off tyre barrier there.
Correct.
Yeah, just fucking, if you don't want them to go out there,
Put a wall
put
there.
a fucking wall there.
That
Or-
fixes the problem.
Or clarify it. Make it... V8 supercars do the bollard technique. They put a sensor there, and if the sensor on your car is on the outside of the sensor on the track, you get your lap time deleted. Formula 1, multi-billion-dollar company can do that over the Bush League supercars
I
that
just-
figured that out.
I'll just keep going back to, I think Hamilton should have gotten a penalty for exceeding track limits during the race. If they can put it in the fucking video game, why can't they do it for real? He gained an unfair advantage, in my opinion.
Yeah, but he wasn't making a race-winning move around the outside either. That's the only thing that undid Verstappen, I think. He was making a move. He wasn't just driving it.
And you know, going into that corner, Verstappen was actually ahead.
Yeah, but he was on the outside of the track where you're not supposed to be.
I wouldn't mind betting that Hamilton sort of straightened up the wheel a little bit.
Of course he did. He's a racer. So did Leclerc or Norris.
That's a Momo's move, though. That's Momo's 91 on GT.
Look at you just dropping names. We're not making him more famous. He doesn't deserve it.
Well, like William Story.
He doesn't deserve it. Until he can
We've got to get people to watch these bloody videos.
just come
We've
over
got to
here.
name drop these people so that people will sit there and go, Christ, he mentioned Momo's and William's Story in the same sentence. Watch this video.
Just
We've
drop
got
me
to
a
go
can-
there and click like and subscribe and thumb the video like we're Watch Mojo.
Bring me a can of Rich Energy and then we'll talk.
I'll find one.
You'll find one.
Yeah, they are actually selling them to Australia now.
Oh, really?
And it comes in a wooden box.
A wooden box.
Yes, with rich energy painted all over it and all manner of malarkey. Like it's some kind of 2,000-year-old bottle of Chardonnay or something.
You
It's
get
in
to
a
crack it
wooden box.
open and your lights are going to go out and you're suddenly possessed. Like those mystery boxes people get off eBay with like cryptic dolls in it.
Except people have actually bought cans of rich energy, cracked it open, tasted it, and just gone, it tastes like Red Bull. It's just Red Bull in a
Cracked it
different
open,
can.
tasted it. It tastes like knockoff, and then closed the can.
Kept the box.
Yeah, I'll keep the box though. It's the most important part.
But like to to get a box to Australia is like $100 for one can
No,
of.
fuck you.
Well,
Fuck
you've
you,
got to
William
put
Story.
money in William Story's bank account. He's only got £561.
You want £661 and fucking shipping and surcharge fee.
Well, he's got to raise the money so he can buy Haas and Sunderland FC.
Haas don't need any help. Haas don't need
What about Sunderland?
Sunderland need help. Sunderland need all the help they can get. They need to keep selling Liverpool B-grade players so we can turn them into champions. Now we're off topic.
Haas doesn't need the help, as Mick Schumacher came 16th and Mazepin crashed out on the fucking first lap. Yeah, tell me that Haas doesn't need their help.
Haas doesn't need the money. They've got dirty, cheating Russian money. They just pump some steroids into the car like they did the Russian athletes. That'll help.
Just get Vladimir Putin to hold Ross Brawn hostage.
Yeah. Just whack a needle up your fucking clacker and
Up your...
Schumacher walks out like a fucking bodybuilder and you don't win any races because your car's too heavy.
You can't fit in the bloody car. It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger getting into a Mini Cooper.
Throw some Olympic gold medals at them, see what happens.
That'll hurt.
That will hurt. Not as much as spinning into the wall 3 laps in the F1 career.
It didn't hurt as much as Grosjean crashing into the wall opposite.
No, what is with that corner and Haas trying to kill the drivers?
Even Martin Brundle was just like, yeah, Haas's do not seem to like that corner.
Yeah, we don't like Haas going off in that corner anymore for some reason.
At least Schumacher didn't hit the wall. He spun it, he slid, he pulled it up in time, and he was just like, well, I didn't hit the wall. I didn't break my legs like my dad did. Off we go. Whee! So,
Alright. So, Imola's in 2 weeks.
yes.
Predictions.
It's a pretty speedy circuit, isn't Imola?
It is a very speedy circuit. I think we see Red Bull. I think Verstappen wins this.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Verstappen. I was thinking suspicion it's going to be Verstappen, Perez, Hamilton.
I would like to see that. I think so too, actually. I was going to say Verstappen, Hamilton, Perez, but I think the Red Bulls are going to, right at the game, their ascendancy. Verstappen, Hamilton, Perez, Bottas, Norris.
Yeah, well, it'll be an interesting fight between the McLarens and the Ferraris, though.
Well, it's a tighter fight, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tighter than last year, at least.
I think the Ferrari will have the advantage over the McLarens on tracks where it's more handling based and less out-and-out power. But tracks like Imola and Monza, I'm afraid the Italian fans, the Tifosi, and me, we're going to be a little bit disappointed.
Do we see the AlphaTauri? I think we see a better performance from Gasly. And I think we see probably more of the same from Sonoda. I think double points finish for those guys.
I think we're going to see Vettel crash into someone. Or something will go wrong with that Aston Martin and Vettel will just lose his shit like he's been doing for the last year and a half. So, what the hell is the go with Vettel, though? What is his deal?
He's just, I don't know.
He's just lost the plot.
He spent all of last year hating Ferrari. And now he's in a new team and he's realizing the car's not as good as he thought it was. And the Ferraris are ahead of him. Carlos Sainz is ahead of him.
Yeah, that's got to piss him
That's
off.
got to hurt mentally.
Particularly during the race. Sainz, they were going in turn one. And Sainz was behind Alonso and Vettel
Yep.
going into turn one. And by the time they got out of turn four, Sainz had overtaken both of them.
Yep. Yep. Hey, man. Vettel's realized now he's made another bad decision.
I always thought Alonso was the king of bad decisions.
Vettel's definitely going to be the prince of bad decisions then, isn't he?
Yes.
Just seems like he's an unhappy man in an unhappy place. And Daddy's boy outdrove him as well, which has to suck.
Well, Vettel did have damage on his car when he ploughed into Ocon. So I don't think
Which
that would
was his fault.
Yeah. Despite how he's trying to blame it on Ocon.
Mm-hmm.
That was all Vettel. He can't blame anyone else for that.
Do we see Alonso bounce back? He likes Imola. I think we see him bounce back, but not much.
Yeah, he's... Like I keep saying, he is not the second coming of Jesus. Despite how much the internet wants to blow that up. Like, you know, not many people are talking about, Vettel not doing well. Vettel is a 4-time world champion. Alonso is only a 2-time world champion and a 4-time bottle job.
Yes.
You know, but they keep talking about how amazing Alonso is. I think Vettel is the better driver. I just think Vettel is... Vettel's past his prime.
Yeah. It's going to be good to see Alonso versus Vettel on track again.
We saw it. We saw it.
Two slightly past their prime drivers.
Just put Kimi Räikkönen in the mix and you can have 3
Yeah,
guys.
but at least Kimi looks like he's still having fun.
Yeah, but Kimi's got to realise this is it. This is
his
his
last season for sure, yes.
It's got to be his last season.
Yeah.
You know, you can't keep putting around at 41.
But he was 2 seconds outside World Championship point. Oh, sorry, is that 2 minutes? No, that's 2 seconds.
No, that's pit stops.
No. 126 and 128, that was the time finished behind the leader.
Yeah, 128.
He was 2 seconds outside of a World Championship point behind Stroll.
Yeah.
And that's not a guy that's driving like his age, is it?
No.
So at least one of the grey-haired, the grizzled old veterans brigade is still seemingly driving like he still cares.
He's always driven like he still cares.
Yeah.
Okay, he still has the heart of a 20-year-old Kimi Räikkönen, just inside the grizzled veteran of a 41-year-old Räikkönen. He's not throwing his toys out the pram because he's got a GP2 engine or because he gets overtaken because he was sold a dummy by a team in a Canadian fashion magnate.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Vettel was hoping that he'd do a couple of seasons in Aston Martin and then he would get into Mercedes. Or he would get back into Red Bull. Except Red Bull won't have him back. Because Helmut Marko was very much of the opinion that he ditched, so fuck him. And Mercedes, if Hamilton retires, it's George Russell. They're going for youth.
Yeah.
Just don't put fucking Ocon in that Mercedes. He does not deserve it.
He won't get there. It's Russell. That's a lock. We knew that already.
Yeah, it'll be Russell, but you got to wonder if Hamilton retires and they get sick of Bottas and ditch Bottas, who's going to get the other seat?
Yeah. Could be anyone. Could be anyone.
It won't be Latifi.
No, it won't be Latifi.
And it won't be Stroll.
Who's in their system? Who's in the Mercedes system still? Who's their test driver? Isn't it? No, it's not. Name's gone. Brilliant podcasting. Brilliant podcasting.
Who's... Because I heard that Daniel Kvyat's being a test driver again. But it's not for AlphaTauri.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's for Mercedes. No, is Hulkenberg Mercedes test driver?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
No, I don't think they're going to sit to Hulkenberg.
They could always bring Grosjean back.
Nah. You want a lucrative... George Russell will definitely be the number one driver. I don't know. I mean, we said this in the testing show. I think if Hamilton goes, Bottas doesn't. Hamilton goes, Bottas does not go. Russell goes to Mercedes. It's Hamilton and it's Russell and Bottas.
What about Norris?
No, he's got to be McLaren's boy. The British team needs a British face. And unless Ricciardo goes there.
Well, Ricciardo's under contract to McLaren for 3 years.
Yeah.
George Russell's contract with Williams is up this year.
At the same time, Hamilton's contract with Mercedes is up, so he'll go to Mercedes.
Yeah.
I think it's guaranteed, I think.
Bottas's contract is also up this year.
Yeah, but I don't think they'll get rid of Bottas.
If Hamilton retires, Bottas will stay.
Yep, and Russell will be his teammate.
What if they announce they're going to ditch Bottas for George Russell, and then get to the end of the season and Hamilton goes, you know what, I've had enough, I'm out too.
They'll find someone. I don't know who that is. Let them make the decision. I don't know who they'd take. Who's not still under contract. Honestly, if no one was under contract right now, Russell, I'd take Ricciardo. I'd take Ricciardo and put him in the empty seat.
What if they went for a complete rookie?
It's not Mercedes style.
Like
Have to be Callum Ilott maybe.
Yeah, or Nick De Vries.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe. I mean, that's an option. That's in the future, though. I think we'll find out the closer we get to Abu Dhabi. When the rumour mill starts swirling in the mid-season break.
Yeah. So, next race is Imola in 2 weeks. You reckon it's going to be Verstappen?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's going to be Verstappen, from Hamilton, from Perez, from Bottas.
And I think it's going to be Verstappen, Perez, Hamilton. Cool.
And then it will be the McLarens and the Ferraris and the AlphaTauris fighting the rest.
Yeah. I think the McLarens will have the edge over the Ferraris.
So what are the things we're looking for in the next race? We're going to see how good the Alpines improve, how good the Astons improve.
We'll see if Vettel can do a race without crashing.
Yeah.
And if he can actually be the Vettel of old, not the Vettel of last year.
That's it. We'll get a better understanding of these teams 2 races in rather than 1, but
yeah,
so far so good.
All right.
For a few of them.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in this week. To this fortnight, whatever it is, to our review of the Bahrain F1.
Another rambling.
And we will see you in 2 weeks after the Imola F1.
We will indeed, the Imola Grand Prix.
All right, thank you everyone for tuning in.
Talk to you then, guys. See ya.
Bye.